By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. And that would be Comic Book Man and Bo with some Indy news.
We think useless is a relative term. Independent Comic Book News, Episode 86, The Heartbreak of Foamy Groin.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Indy News.
Indy News number 86. An Indy mix. It's a whole mix of a bunch of different Indy stuff. Potpourri. We've got some Avatar news, some IDW news, we've got some Dynamite news, and it's all coming to you from... is there Boom News?
No, it's not.
Okay. All coming to you from Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood.
King of the Indy Comics.
Right there. Alternate Reality, where all new comics, including every Indy comic that I get in here at the store, are always 15% off every day for everyone. All my Avatars, all my IDWs, all my Dynamites, all my Booms, all my Indy comics.
Like
always 15% off every day for everyone.
What about Dark Horse?
Dynamite and Boom should do a crossover because they just match up.
Dynamite, Boom! Dynamite, Boom!
What about Blue Water?
Blue Water sucks.
Blue Water does
Too
suck.
bad there's not a comic book company called Flush. Blue Water and
Flush!
Flush could do a crossover.
First is coming back.
First, oh great. First story up involves the Avatar universe. First couple of stories, actually. Warren Ellis is going to do what with Freak Angels?
After Freak Angels Volume 6 comes out, the trade comes out, he will be launching a brand new webcomic for the company.
Really?
No one knows what it's about. He hasn't said.
He hasn't said? No hints?
Well, no hints, because Warren's working on that anime thing for Marvel. He doesn't really have time, and he's doing the Secret Avengers thing. But I'm assuming that'll be one of the big announcements that Avatar has at San Diego.
Probably.
Because they got to announce something.
Probably.
Otherwise, why have a table?
For those of you who've read Absolution over at Avatar, you might be wondering where it's at. Well, what's up with Absolution?
There is a new 6-issue Absolution series coming from Christoph Gage. It'll also have some one-shots involving the characters seen in the limited series.
So separate one-shots from the 6-issue.
Separate one-shots, okay. Yes. So
so the Absolution universe is expanding.
It's expanding and growing.
Yes,
it's his own little corner. And he has a Marvel exclusive, but he gets to work on this stuff.
Of course he does.
Alan Moore, who will only work at one comic book company, apparently, and that's Avatar, is doing some new work for Avatar.
He's doing a 10-issue series called Fashion Beast.
Fashion Beast?
I have no idea what it's about. And Moore doesn't do conventions, so I'm assuming that William Christensen will have to explain it, because Moore's off somewhere smoking a doobie.
When is this coming out?
2012.
2012. Watch for it next year from the fine folks at Avatar.
That's right around the corner.
Okay, jumping a couple of pages forward in the previews catalog to IDW. We've got IDW doing Infestation Outbreak.
It is a follow-up to Infestation. It will add the Groom Lake characters to the mix. There will be a sequel to Infestation in early 2012, which will also be a crossover of licenses in a much larger story.
Than what they had before?
Yeah, so whatever licenses they've picked up since the first one was announced will be added to this mix.
Oh, I hope they throw the Doctor in there. Doctor and zombies.
You know, that would be kind of interesting.
Doctor Who and zombies.
I think that's probably part of the deal. They could probably do that.
Meanwhile, Lock and Key, the huge franchise over at IDW, which has never had a movie or a TV series or anything.
Well, no, at San Diego.
Well, it's got one coming, but it doesn't have it yet.
No. Fox didn't pick it up, but at San Diego,
oh, it didn't.
They're going to show the pilot.
Oh,
but Fox went nah.
Oh, they didn't pick it up.
They didn't pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Not even as a backup.
That doesn't mean somebody else might not.
Well, I'm assuming
Fox didn't want it.
I'm assuming that there'll be some people from Hollywood sitting there watching the thing, and if they like it, maybe they'll go, and then maybe they'll go, screw it.
Clockworks. What's Clockworks?
Clockworks is a limited series written by Joe Hill. It's the second and last storyline in the Lock and Key storyline, but it'll be seen
second
first.
To last.
Yeah, but it'll be seen before what is actually supposedly the third to last, which is a limited series called Omega. Now, Joe Hill says he's more or less done with the entire concept of Lock and Key, but he says at some point, if something strikes him in the dead of night, he might just come back to the process. He also says, but he does say, yeah, the dead of night. Actually, that would be a good book.
That was a Marvel book.
That was a Marvel book
back in the 50s and reprinted again in the 70s.
But if you're a fan of his series, The Cape, he says once the limited series is over with, I'm done with that one.
And by the way, folks, that's why they call me Comic Book Man.
He remembers
crap like that.
Man, he popped
stuck in the back of my head.
Was it? Marvel did a book last year with Dead at Night. They used it to keep the.
Yes, actually they did. To keep the copyright alive. They did a Max.
Yeah, they did a Max
series
with the Demon Killer or something like that.
Yeah. Phil Hester over at let's take a
Dynamite.
Let's take a right turn over to Dynamite. Phil Hester and Kevin Smith are going to be doing what with Steve Austin? No, not the wrestler Steve Austin, not the wrestler.
I thought Kevin Smith was giving up comics.
Phil Hester was the guy who took Kevin Smith's Green Hornets unused script and turned it into a comic book series. He's going to do the same thing with the script that Kevin Smith wrote for the $6 Million Man, which never happened. The book will become the script is going to be becoming a new series from the folks at Dynamite. Well, that lame stuff, that won't be part of it.
Here, let's pretend I'm the bionic woman. I'm going to use my bionic ear. Wait, I have to move my hair.
But the regular shoes will be called the Bionic Man. Now, Phil Hester and Smith are aware of the fact that Steve Austin is a creature of the 70s, and so he'll be updated and he'll have added abilities.
Creature of the 90s.
He'll be a creature of the 90s, but he's
creature of the 90s when Smith wrote this thing in the first place.
Like Austin Powers.
No, he wrote this thing about 5 years ago.
No, I thought he wrote that back in the 90s.
No, Miramax was still going on at that point. He wrote the Green. Yeah, Miramax was still hanging out at that point.
I thought the $6 Million Man thing wasn't that when Jim Carrey was attached to it?
No, I think someone else wrote the Jim Carrey version. Although I think they came up with him with an idea. The Miramax people said, "Why don't you do this thing?"
That's why I'm Comic Book Man. Useless knowledge.
But in the new series, you'll have added abilities. You'll use as missions, and for all you fans of the TV show, you know the action was usually really god awful and lame.
The what was?
Action was lame.
Action. It was all in slow motion.
Yeah,
it was all in slow motion.
Well, Hester says the book will be a lot more exciting, and the action quotient will be ramped up incredibly.
Take him 2 shots to jump over a fence.
And it'll be
one up, one down.
And it'll be drawn by Jonathan Lau, who also did the Green Hornet.
Well, the shots.
So the family
fence,
all got together.
You get the guy up on top of the fence. He jumps backwards down, and you run it backwards, and then he jumps down forward, and that's how you go over the fence.
And we're clear.
And that's it. We're done. We're finished out here. We got no more indie news, but you can go to the store's website and check out all the bionic indie news that this man sends me that I post up. Where's the store's website
I need the address.
Bo, question for you.
What?
Where's the store's website at?
Sarah knows.
Sarah.
And here it is, the lovely website, www.maraltonetradio.com.
Cool.
So go to the store's website, check out all of his news, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
You can't tell me what to do.
Saying.
You're not the boss of me.
Look at him.
Bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.